Hello everybody. I guess long time no see, possibly. I am coming to you from many months in the past. In fact, it's so long ago in the past that this room I am in, I no longer live in this place anymore. If everything's gone according to plan, then I am in my new house, and I have lots and lots of videos that are ready to go live because I'll be back from hiatus on this channel. But anyway, thank you for sticking around. If you have been sticking around, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome. Today, instead of looking at some of my photography, what we're going to be looking at is someone else's, specifically this book here by David Mayne. I know David relatively well. I'm talking to him on Twitter quite often. He is a photographer based here in Wales, and this is a book that he released of a project that he did. Here. Amma is Welsh for here. Yeah, it's a lot of architectural and street photography kind of stuff. So what I thought I would do is just flick through it. As you can see, I've made a few notes of some of the images that I particularly like in this book, and I thought I'd just have a quick flick through with you guys, show you what's in there, what I like about it and everything, and yeah, just maybe it's something that you'd be interested in as well. I will obviously put links to David's Instagram and Twitter and everything like that as well. I don't know if this book is still available. By the time you see this, it might be out of print. He did self-publish it and it was a limited run. But if I do find a link for that, I will put that in the description as well. But yeah, let's get on with it. I say let's have a look inside. I'll tell you what, this is a really awkward setup. I hate this coffee table, but as I'm coming to you from the future, there's a good possibility that I've smashed it to splinters because I've moved house and it's not come with me and I've bought something nicer. But anyway, you wouldn't believe how awkward this setup is. The tripod's at a weird angle. You can probably see a tiny bit of it here. Really sorry. I just don't have a good setup for flicking through books unless you want to see my feet at the same time as doing this. So yeah, anyway, let's get into this. So this is David Mayne's Amma here, like I said just then. So opening it up, comes with a couple of little prints. So we got a couple of prints from the book itself, lovely quality as well, and then this with just a little thank you note. It's a project he's been working on for years and years, as far as I'm aware. So a little bit of background. I'm pretty sure David probably doesn't mind me saying this, but I'm sure his day job involves him photographing like retail units and like retail areas and whatnot. So he basically photographs architectural stuff and streets and things sort of as a living. And as he was doing that over several years, he's accumulated quite a large collection of personal work in the same kind of vein. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, beginning of the book is just oh god, this is going to be difficult to do. Sorry, just a little bit of a blurb about the project itself, a little bit about David as well. I'm going to flip past all that and we're going to get straight into the photography itself. So apologies, this isn't really a lay flat book, but I'm going to try and do it without destroying it myself. So this is the first one that caught my eye. Really like this. I like my blacks black and my darks very dark and my shadows bright, and minimalism, that's very much me with my photography, and that's why I like this photo a lot. You've got the sort of this alleyway, soul figure in the distance there, lights hitting the back of them, casting this big long shadow, silhouetting them by there, lots of negative space. A lot of this book is essentially going to be me saying I wish I could make images as good as this. So that's the first one in there that caught my eye. What else have we got? Yes, some more stuff here. Actually, both of these caught my eye here. So this one specifically, because I know exactly where that is. That's in Cardiff. That's Cardiff Central Market. But yeah, I like the use of the relatively slow shutter speed, so you got a bit of motion blur on the figures by here as well. Again, nicely framed. There's architectural stuff in the distance there, and then this one as well, I quite liked. Again, use of a slower shutter speed, so you've got motion blur in the people here, but I just like these crisscrossing lines appearing all across the image, you know, nice and central like that, and just there's an awful lot going on in it, but I think it works. I think it works. I will say now again as well, this is not a review of this book at all. This is literally a flick through some of the images that I like, rather than anything else. Again, lots of negative space, big bold shadows, leading lines through there. This nicely framing this sole subject of this lone pigeon in the distance there. I'm not quite sure if you can see that. Hopefully you can if this is on a bigger screen, but I can't see very well on the back of my camera. I'm having to look around it. Yeah, I love stuff like this. When I shoot black and white, I really like, you know, lots of negative space and things like that, but I'm not very good at shooting black and white, and I don't shoot it very often. That's why all my stuff is in colour. Also, as I see the world in colour, it's easier for me. What else have we got here? Just dropped something on the floor, hooray. This one. This one, the reason I really like this is it just reminds me of just photographs of the South Wales valleys, you know, proper like documentary stuff of the South Wales valleys in like the 50s and 60s. I can't spring to mind any particular photographers I want to jump out as that, but just like, you know, images like this, you know, the ends of terraced houses, the old industrial, you know, nearby. I love this, just this bisecting across the bottom of the image with the lone figure there walking past. These uses of, I'm stroking this as if I'm excited about the about the photograph, but yeah, just like this bisecting across there, cutting across like a third of the photograph. It's just fantastic. I really like this one. It's honestly that photograph, I in 40 years time I could not tell you if that was taken in the 2020s or if that was taken in like the 1980s or the 1970s or something. It's timeless. That is a timeless image. Really like that one. Next up, again, more minimalism. Just a children's playground, devoid of any children. Slightly depressing sounding, I guess, but I mean, some of the photographs I took over lockdown were similar to this, of just, you know, where normally you would see families and loads of people around, suddenly there's no one anymore, and they just look vastly different to how they look on a normal day. But yeah, again, it's just minimalistic. You know, steps leading through there, nicely centered with the slide. Yeah, really nice. What's up next? I've completely forgotten what I've actually marked in here, but oh, these ones are great. Look at that. Look at the use of shadow on that. See, I like architectural stuff. I am always looking with my kind of photography for, you know, lines and shadows and things and that. And again, I'm going to say it, this is the kind of photograph I wish that I could make, because that is incredible. Look at that. 2/3, perfect. Shadow, bold colours, dark sky, contrasty, lovely. And then this one, the opposite. Building in shadow, silhouetted, brighter background. Again, 2/3 of the image, perfectly complementing each other on either page. These two are absolutely fabulous. Really great. This one I included in because I recognise it again. I am 99% sure that this is Pembroke, because I'm sure that's Pembroke Castle. I've been here last summer when I was in Pembroke. In fact, I'll pop a link up there to all the videos of the day that me and my girlfriend went there. But yeah, it just looks like a standard street. Well, it's not a standard street, is it? It looks like a standard street in Wales. It doesn't look like a standard street in most places. You know, there is a castle There is a high street, there is some shops and terraced housing and stuff. That's what Wales looks like. It's not what an awful lot of other places in the world looks like. It's relatively unique to this part of the world. But yeah, you know, the road sweeping through, repetition. Yeah, it's just nicely composed. Really nicely composed, that is. This one, I just like the humour in it. So as you can see, it's not really anything in particular, is it? It just says this is not a toilet. Fair point, it isn't. But you know, if like me, you've been to plenty of back streets in the UK, and they all stink of piss because people use everything as a toilet. I just like that one. I thought there was a little bit of humour in that. What do we got? Oh, there's another one. This is fantastic. Just look at that. Just framing the couple there, and someone just entering from the side. This reminds me of other people's work. It's absolutely brilliant. Really, really great. Yeah, I can't say anything more about that. That's just fabulous. Another one that I chose for a bit of humour. So, Cashpoint users only. There is no Cashpoint. It's shut down. Comment on austerity, I would say. You know, that's just the fact that everything in the UK is closed down. For decades now, everything in the UK is closed down. You know, big disparities in wealth between, you know, the haves and the have-nots in this country. I won't go into it any further than that. My opinions on that, but yeah. But the thing that drew my eye to this is I have a running joke with a couple of friends of mine of whenever you see closed businesses or like shops that are all boarded up and whatever, they've always got posters for fun fairs and circuses in the window. I don't get that. Why is it circuses always advertising closed and boarded up shops? And just this, it's a Cashpoint that isn't there anymore, that's been boarded up, and there's an advert for a fun fair just pasted onto it. That made me laugh, because that literally is something that I've noticed. Me and my friends have always noticed. So yeah. And then these are the last couple that I've highlighted to show today. This one, just again, the use of the high difference in between highlights and contrast, and the deep dark shadows leading along this guy crossing the road. Just, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Cartier-Bresson, that's who I was thinking of earlier. So some of them, just this especially. I mean, just you know, that's great as well. I love the reflections in the wet paving slabs. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, that is Here by David Mayne. Hopefully, you know, you find that pretty informative. As I said at the start of the video, I'll put some links and things at the bottom of this video if you want to go check out David and any more of his stuff. Other than that, you know, thanks for sticking by and watching this video. Usual kind of stuff, you know, like and subscribe and all that if you want to, but yeah, you don't have to if you don't want to. It'd be nice. Yeah, I will hopefully see you guys soon. So thank you. Bye bye.